Howdy everyone, Tonval Legend 826 here. I'm doing another review about sharing my personal thoughts about the 15th episode of the 10th season of The Walking Dead. This episode is called The Tower. I thought it was a decent episode, because we're introduced to a new character who, even though seems kind of like excited at times, it's definitely someone that we might be able to trust. She seems friendly enough. Of course, other people might disagree with me on that, but I think we can all have our own respective opinions. We're also seeing Beta take over the Whispers with Alpha gone, and he definitely is looking for blood, trying to get revenge against the people responsible. Most notably Negan. Even though he killed Alpha, he still hasn't gotten the forgiveness of everybody from Alexandria. I mean, I think it's pretty understandable because after what happened with Abraham and Glenn, and then the war, it was kind of hard to forgive him after all that. I mean, I can understand why. But I mean, it's been a long time. I think you should just move on at that point. But anyways, let me explain what happened in the episode. First, we see Princess, the new character, Juanita, with Ezekiel, Yumiko, and Eugene. They're all on their mission to find this Stephanie person, and they ran into Princess. So, anyways, Princess tries to help them when a bunch of walkers come up, and she ends up killing all three of them. The trouble is that the horses that are with the three people from Alexandria all escape, and of course Yumiko is extremely upset. Out of all three of them, she seems to be the least thrilled with Princess, and she seems to be the least trustworthy of her. So, anyways, Princess decides to lead them all to find weapons and everything, and Princess gives her gun and everything, and then they stumble across a minefield. Princess later tells them that, but she didn't tell them earlier, so that of course pisses off Yumiko, so that's not really a good start there for the new character. Then she tosses a water jug into the minefield to test which mines would blow up and which ones wouldn't, so the mine she threw it at blew up. And then walkers come across later, and then then blows them up as well. And meanwhile, in the hideout where the Alexandrians are hiding out, the people from Hilltop are hiding out, they're in this tower, I think, and Negan is there, of course. I mean, I think even though the people might be like glad that he ended up killing Alpha, they're still not totally pleased with him, you know. And at the same time, you know, Judith gives Lydia her condolences for what happened to Alpha, Lydia's mother. Lydia tells her not to be sorry because of course she was a horrible person. She killed all these people. So I mean, it's kind of understandable why she wouldn't feel any remorse. But anyways, at the same time, however, Negan to apologizes to Lydia for what happened and everything. But then Lydia honestly says that that they wish he had died too. So it shows that the people haven't completely forgiven him even after he killed Alpha. You know, I mean, old grudges lie. Can't do anything about that. But anyways, back to the point is that I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all the events from the episode. Aaron and Alden are busy watching the movements of the Whispers. They're probably spying on them or something. Probably trying to sabotage them if they can. And meanwhile, Daryl is out looking for Michonne. He doesn't know that Michonne left the show and left the series to find Rick. And then Judith ends up running into him, and then they decide to walk together. Because Daryl is like her legal guardian now that Michonne, Rick, and Carl are all gone. That leaves Daryl as a remaining guardian. I mean, in the Walking Dead universe, they're all technically family because one, there's no actual paperwork to show that, oh, this is your family and all that, all your blood relatives. There's no paperwork to begin with. Number two, Rick learned in this final episode that they were all his family because they all loved each other, they all bonded each other, even though they weren't his blood, even though his biological family was all gone. They still help each other, so that has to count for something. So anyways, with that being said, Daryl is Judith's legal guardian in this sense. you know Granted, Daryl isn't exactly what I call a leader, because Rick was always the leader. It was always Rick. Rick was the one who cared about others and was also a determined and strong person. It was always Rick right from the very beginning. Daryl, while he has his moments, he has his good qualities, and he is the last surviving male from the first season, I wouldn't necessarily call him a leader in that kind of sense. Although, you know, Negan I wouldn't exactly call a leader either, but now people are loving him because of his latest actions to the Whisperers. But anyways, Meanwhile, with Princess and everything, she throws the throws more stuff to make sure that the bombs can blow up, and that way she knows she's heading on the right path. Then walkers come in and blow up more bombs. Then they manage to get through the minefield after checking everything safely, and then Eugene recognizes a street name, you know, and then they find out that the princess, like didn't need to bring them through that minefield in the first place. So of course Yumiko was really pissed at this point. Obviously, we saw the tension. We saw she was getting agitated, and now this only further provokes her. And she was going to kill her. She pointed the weapon at her, but Princess then explained that she wanted to have some fun. She wanted because she hadn't had fun in a while. She had like no one to talk to. So I mean, it's understandable why you'd want to have people to talk with and hang out with if you're being isolated, because we saw with the governor how he was upset with his daughter's death. Granted, the governor was a horrible person, but you could still feel some sympathy for him because of his daughter and everything. He was grieving over her. We also have Morgan. After losing his son, he went insane and he had these hallucinations and everything. And that's part of the reason why he left the show and went to Fear the Walking Dead. And also we have I'm trying to remember. But anyways, back to the point is that obviously after they're losing their family members, eventually they go insane, and it just like really, I think that really like drives them, you know. But at the same time, however, Princess, on the other hand, I think we can trust her. She's only been in two episodes so far, granted. So we may not be able to see everything that about her. We don't know her full story yet. There could be more details to follow, but they should at least give her some of the benefit of the doubt. It's not like she's one of the Whispers or anything like that. She certainly has no villain qualities about her, even though she did lie to them. It was only to have fun and everything, and she wasn't trying to get them hurt. I can pretty much tell. And then afterwards, Alden and Aaron get captured by the Whisperers, and then we see how that turns out. And after they get captured, and then I just hope that they don't get killed off. But it's The Walking Dead, so people are going to get killed off no matter what. But you never know. They might keep them alive. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But it's ultimately up to the writers and whatever their plans are and everything. And also at the same time, you notice something funny here is that at the end of the episode, all the Whisperers are heading towards Memorial Grady Hospital. That's the name of the hospital that Beth Green died in season 5. So, I mean, that's a pretty interesting. I recognized that hospital almost immediately. I mean, I knew exactly where that hospital was from season 5, and a lot of other people probably noticed it on the first look as well. And also, Lydia was pissed about her mom. I mean, she hated her mother, make no mistake, and she did horrible things, but she still had a right to grieve. So she was allowed to hit Negan, and Negan gave her permission to hit him, and then, Negan kind of embraced her in a father-daughter way. Granted, Negan is not the ideal choice for a father, but, in these circumstances, he's definitely at least trying to make some kind of an effort. Gotta give him at least some credit for that. So anyways, I'm trying to remember who that other like person was that lost a relative and eventually went crazy because of that. I'll probably leave it in the comments when I remember. But anyways, so that was a pretty decent episode in my opinion. Even though like Aaron and Alden got captured, they might be alive in the next episode. And I also think that Maggie might be returning in the last episode. There was a sneak peek, and I think she was in it. I didn't see it yet, but if that's true, that's even better. She might be a regular in season 11, full time again. But those are my thoughts about the 15th episode of season 10 of The Walking Dead, The Tower. Tonville Legend 826 out.